So I'm gonna get Ray in. See how long it takes him to figure this out. And I guarantee you'll be sideways. Here he is. Hello, Raymond. I knew you'd be sideways if you can hear me. You there, Ray? All right.
There we go.
There you go.
There you go. I was hitting the wrong button. I was waiting for that smoker cough to come up.
You were sideways at first. I'm going to call you Paul Wall from now on. You're always sitting sideways.
Paul Wall, that guy, is that bad rapper, white rapper guy that used to do Teeth or Gorillas, they call it?
Yes. Yes.
What McDonald's is he working at these days?
Yeah. It's a very good question. He was from Texas, so probably somewhere in Texas.
Yeah. So I've graduated to the kitchen now.
I see that. I see that. You're very choppy though.
How do I look? I'm who? Choppy.
You're choppy.
I don't know what to tell you, homie. I'm in where I'm at now. I moved here because I got better interweb here.
Okay. How do I look in sound? Everything's good?
You always look good. Oh, you mean the yeah, I can see you fine. But what am I, grainy? Is it grainy?
It's a little grainy. It's just moving slow. You know? Your sound's fine. It's just the video.
Huh. I don't know what to see, we have like 5.
Mark is calling me.
Can you just
No, I gotta call him. I gotta call him. Yeah, I told him that.
Yeah, well, this is welcome to the world of marketing, dude. There you go.
I just declined him. So I'm gonna invite him. Okay, here he comes.
Here he comes.
Here he comes.
Mark Eaton is known as the Black Cloud. Everything he gets involved in just falls apart. Like your house will catch on fire tonight because you spoke to Mark Eaton today.
Yeah.
Here, do you see him?
Yeah, there he is. I don't see him, but I hear him.
Yeah, I
can smell him. There he is. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Is that powder? Who is that?
I can't.
You see him?
Got that reference. Tell me you got that reference, please.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah, I got it.
But you got it. Okay, good.
I'm not.
Oh, you got it too. Mark's very serious.
Okay.
You okay? You look like you're sick. Are you okay? Do you got the COVID?
Yeah, hold on. It's my light.
You look very sick. Doesn't he look like a cancer patient?
Let me warm it up. Warm it up, Chris.
Man, we didn't even start yet. I like those panel doors though. Wow. He moved out of the garage too. I think he's in his mom's basement now. What is going on?
Okay, let's warm that up. How about this? We got a little warmer. Get a little warm.
Yeah. Hey, Mike,
Mark,
let me just warn you. Mike, let me just warn you something.
Yeah.
My entire life is devoted to picking on Mark Eaton. So you might get really sick of it. But he's like he takes all my abuse. So you seem like you would take my abuse too. You know what I mean? And it's not bad abuse. I just love picking on people that can take it.
You gotta be able to filter through it.
Yeah. Listen, Ray, I haven't known you for too long, but I can tell that underneath all of it, you're just a great guy. So
of course I am.
I could take abuse. If you were an asshole, I would punch you in the face.
Yeah, you would. Well, I don't know. I mean, what are you, 5'5", 5'2"? How tall are you? You're not that big of a guy.
Fucking 5'11", man.
5'11"?
Yeah. My seat's low.
No, I know you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you really? You look like a little squatty kind of guy. Yeah.
Little squatty guy.
You know who you remind me of? You remind me of. Do you know who Jason Kaplan is from Howard Stern? Do you know who that dude is?
Yeah.
Your voice reminds me of him, like the way that you speak and like your smile and your giggle, and like that guy. He's a funny dude. I think he's a funny guy on that show. I don't watch it anymore or listen to it, but I used to always like watching him. And you remind me of him a lot, so that's pretty funny. Mark doesn't remind me of anybody except for like
that's a good
Powder.
thing.
There he's gone. Powder left. Is my video still too slow, or should I try it?
You know what? It did get a little better. So
all right, we'll just go with it.
just roll with it. Yeah, for the most part, you know, the audio
it's much more important. It's much more important to hear me than see me. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, Mark, nice to meet you. I mean, I've heard your name my whole life with between my brother and fucking, I remember Dorkin in York.
Yeah.
Those videos, man. When was the first one? When did the first one come out?
May of 1988.
1988. So yeah, I was like, so I was 7 years old.
Yeah.
And my brother showed me those videos, and dude, I love those. I need to see them again. It's been a long time. What was the bum's name? I was trying to think of that today. Wasn't there a bum? Wasn't there a segment with like a homeless guy? Or am I thinking of something else?
They're thinking of something else.
You're thinking, I'm trying to think what you're thinking of.
Pretty much everybody from York looked like a bum back then. So
you might be thinking of another video. You might be thinking of the Haro video, maybe that had a bum in it.
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Yeah. He probably showed me a bunch of shit at once, and I put it all together in my 7-year-old brain.
Yeah.
The naked guy riding the half pipe.
Oh, Craig Rosso. Yes, that was
there we go.
Dorkin. Yep.
Yeah, there we go. I remember that. All right, awesome, man. I got to see those again. Those are available, right?
Yeah, just give me your address. I'll send one over.
Shit, sweet.
Yeah, he'll put it on a drone and fly it over. You'll have it in like 17 minutes.
That'd be fucking awesome.
It will be at some.
Yeah.
And also the documentary Joe Kidding on a Stingray. That was you.
Yeah.
Such a fucking great documentary, man.
Thanks.
So thank you for those amazing contributions to the BMX world. And now what are you doing? You're DJing, right?
No, I'm still making videos, but I'm DJing.
I'm DJing. He sure is. I'm his consultant when it comes to all his DJ gigs. I give him all this great advice and he won't take any of it. You know, I give him great advice on how he could advance his DJ career, and he thinks because I make so many jokes, he thinks I'm kidding, but I'm being serious. You know?
Yeah.
Right. I think you have great advice. You know, I really do.
I do. I've told you that before. People love my advice because my advice there's a lot of joking behind it, but it's basically everything I say has a little bit of humor behind it, but it's all good advice. You know.
My favorite is the no smoking.
Yeah, you gotta quit smoking,
dude. There's like 500 pictures of you smoking on Instagram.
I know. But no, see, like I don't like. I smoked a cigar last night, and before that, I hadn't smoked another cigar. Like it'd been a week since the last time I smoked. I hadn't.
But this way, I don't consider Ray a smoker. I don't even think of Ray smoking. Put that way.
Like in the past. I ramped up my cigar smoking in the past like 5 years just because I like smoking cigars. But I smoke at the most 30 cigars a year, if that.
Okay.
Maybe 40. Maybe 40, and that might be a lie. So
that's not bad, man. A long time ago I worked at this stationery store, which I don't know if that's called that in Pennsylvania, but it's basically like a card store with lottery.
Yeah.
And this guy and we had cigars. There was a cigar humidor. And this guy this guy smoked a cigar like he never breathed oxygen. He just smoked cigars. And he had this. He always had this white shirt on like this, and it was just yellow, like a yellow stain going down. And I'm like, dude, that's fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
But 30 a year, 30 years, nothing.
Yeah.
So let's get into it, man. Well, actually, I want to ask you something, Ray. What's Ramp Up the JAWN?
Ramp Up the JAWN started out as a phrase that I heard somebody say at a Sprocket Jockey's show. The word JAWN in Philly means anything. Like you have those headphones on, and in Philly, somebody would say, "Yo, where'd you get those JAWNs?" You know, and you would say, "Oh, I got them at the whatever store." Like JAWN can be anything you don't know the name of, or you just don't feel like saying the name. Like if you have new sneakers and you walk in and someone goes, "Oh man, look at those new JAWNs." Like if they're looking at your feet, you know they're talking about your sneakers. So I was at a Sprocket Jockey show, and a Philly cop was at the show watching these guys do their stuff, and somebody did a 360 off the side of the ramp, and the cop goes, "Damn," he goes, "my cousin can ramp up the JAWN just like that." And I heard him say the word "ramp up the JAWN," and he just meant jump off the side of the ramp, like do a 360 off the ramp. But he just said "ramp up the JAWN," and that phrase stuck in my head. And then when the X Games came to Philly in 2001, myself, Mark, and a bunch of other of our friends started this little company called Ramp Up the JAWN that was just like fun. We made T-shirts and stickers, and Mark actually did a video that you would like. You'll have to watch. He'll send it to you. It's a Ramp Up the JAWN video. It's about like maybe a 12-minute video that was I loved it. It's
like a brand video.
So that's what yeah.
So it actually became a thing because I looked it up a little bit before. It's on Urban Dictionary, dude.
Yeah, JAWN. Well, that's Ramp Up the JAWN.
Is that sentence on there, Urban? Is it JAWN?
Yeah, it is. But the sentence "Ramp Up the JAWN" I think is in the Urban Dictionary, if that counts for anything.
Let me look it up exactly what it is because
for sure JAWN is.
Okay, Ramp Up the JAWN. It says a phrase used by BMXers expressing emotions of encouragement.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's pretty much. Yes, Steve Swope said it when the X Games were in Philly. We're like, look, you have to say at least once that dude just ramped up the JAWN, and he knocked it out of the park. The Chad Kagi did like some kind of like 360 fly out or something. He's like, we got blah 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 blah, and Chad Kagi ramping up the JAWN, and we like had that on video and watched it. Like it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
the sentence they use is "Dom, ramp up the JAWN, bitch."
that's perfect. Yeah.
Works.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna start saying that. I'm gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
It has, unless it's gone. Unless it's still here.
It's never left.
It's never left.
It's never left.
Somebody want to get the phone?
That's my wife's working.
Okay.
The phone rings from time to time.
It's all good.
You'll hear that. It'll just sound.
Ray, you should have rode with that and be like, hey, yeah, like, and just like totally answered it like a pizza shop and be like, hold on, I got you.
Yeah, I need 2 double sausage with anchovies. I'll be right back. So anyway, I would love to work at a pizza shop. That's my goal in life, is to work at a pizza shop. All right. So what do you want to get into first? Because we can.
Oh, you know what? All right, hold on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share the screen, and you should all see my desktop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to bring up this first picture here. It's going to take a minute.
That's what my wife said on our wedding night.
All right. So you sent me this today. This is
the boombox.
A picture of a Lasonic 931 vintage boombox, first generation, 750.
Is Mark laughing? Was he just laughing? Because he knows the story.
I think so. So what's going on here? What's this all about?
So that's a boombox that currently, like today, somebody would have that on eBay for $700. And let's just say somebody was going to pay $500 for that. That's a lot of money, right? Don't you think, for that boombox? So in 1988, I worked at an appliance store, and there goes the first cigarette in. There we go.
Yeah.
I worked at an appliance store, and this was like the tail end of like 87, 88, and boomboxes were obsolete. Everybody was into like the small Walkman, and everything was downsizing. Like camcorders went from these big shoulder things to a small thing. So technology, music, everything was supposed to be smaller. And the place that I worked, they said, hey, we just bought 500 of these boom boxes and we're going to sell them for like $200 a piece. And they're like, dude, no one's going to buy these things. Long story short, they brought them into the warehouse and nobody bought them. They dropped them down to like $75. Nobody bought them. $50. Nobody bought them. Then they were giving you a boom box if you bought something over $200. And when I would leave, the first day they did that, the first night when I left, there were 7 boom boxes in the parking lot. People didn't even put them in their cars. That's how bad they didn't want these boom boxes.
Right.
So my job about 2 months later was they were going to order a dumpster, and they ordered a dumpster. And my job on a Sunday morning was to get they had around 400 boom boxes left. They'd given like 100 to another store. My job was to get 400 of that boom box and throw it into a dumpster and get rid of it. Just to pick them up and throw them in. And I took like 2 of them. I took 2 home. And because I rode my bike there, so I carried 2 of these home in the box. And the other 398 I threw in a dumpster. And then here it is 30 years later, people are selling them for $750.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where if I had a car or a van, I could have took them all in a couple trips and like put them up in my attic or something, or did something with them. But so people that are into boomboxes and collect boomboxes don't like that story at all, because it just makes them cringe that I had 400 at my disposal and I threw them out in a dumpster and they're in a landfill now.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the thing, though. You don't know what things are going to be worth money or they're going to be collectible one day. You know, like for me, at least at my age, thinking about throwing out all the Nintendos that I had, like, you know, my family would get rid of them and they would give them to me. I had like 10 Nintendos in my fucking attic, and now they're worth money, the original ones. And the games are, some of the games are like thousands of dollars, and we either threw them out or sold them in a garage sale for $1.
You mean the cassettes? You mean those cartridges?
The cartridges, yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are worth a lot. There's one that's like 10 grand. It's like, what the fuck?
Wow.
But yeah, that's crazy that you throw all those out, man. What the fuck were you thinking?
Throw them out. It was part of my job.
It was your job.
And didn't have the means to take them home with you. Like,
I was
right.
I remember telling, like, when I came home with the 2, my dad was like, "What are you doing with those things?" And I'm like, "Dude, they're boom boxes. They're given away for free." And I just threw out 400 of them. My dad's like, "Yeah, you should throw those out too. Like, you're never going to do anything with them." And we have a picture. There's a picture of me doing like a pose trick, tacoing a rim, and that exact boombox is in the background. I took one to my house and one to Gary Pollock's house, and that's
I wish we would have known that, because we rode with boomboxes all the time. That's what we used to ride with.
Yeah, just so you know, Ray.
Yes.
400 boomboxes times 750 is $300,000.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it really?
I just put in my calculator.
So
here.
even if that was $100,000 worth of boomboxes, like,
yeah,
at $500 at $500 it would have been 200,000.
And these things were in. This would be in the box. Like, these things were in the box. And the boxes weren't. You know, it was as big as like. As big as a boombox, you know. I mean, like, they had a lot of packing around them. Yeah. But it'd be like today if you had like a microwave. Basically, it was like that big. And
right.
You know, I mean, it was 2 pallets of boomboxes. Like, you know, they stacked them and
pallets, skids.
Yeah, skids. Yeah, wrapped skids, and they couldn't give them away. And this is 1988. Yeah, the summer '88, I think it was. So.
That's crazy, man. You threw out 300 grand.
Yeah, and then the other story I had was
a similar throwout.
Similar story that the BMX world, doesn't like this story either. That frame right there. Mm-hmm. So we, Mark and I and a bunch of other guys went to a bike show back in like 2000. What was that, Eaton? Like 2005, 6, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
Backyard barbecue.
Yeah. So we met a lot of people that had a lot of old BMX bikes. Like, at the time, I collected around like 30 BMX bikes, like full complete bikes, and every bike that I had was like put together, aired up, brakes worked, and you could ride it. And when we showed up at this show, people had like these Hutch Trick Stars that were like, "Oh, I paid $700 or $7,000 for this bike with the paint and the this and that," and like nothing on the bike worked. Like, the tires were flat, the brakes didn't work, everything was finger tight. And I was like, "What's going on? Like, what are you guys doing with these bikes?" And this one guy rolled in with that bike, that frame, and he's like, "Oh, I just paid $2,000 for this, for the frame, and it came from Alaska." And I'm like, "Wait, you paid $2,000 for that CW luggage rack frame?" And he's like, "Yeah." And everybody was like, "Oh my God, how great is that?" And I'm like, looking at these people like they're nuts, and they're like, "What?" They're like, "What are you talking about? Like, look how awesome that is." And I'm like, "Dude, back in 1988, me and 3 dudes that rode for CW threw about 700 of those out in the dumpster." And they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they were getting rid of all their CW stuff, and they were changing the rev core and
complete
Mike Miranda."
bike.
Yeah, Mike
not frame,
Mike Miranda.
Complete bike.
Yeah, he said he goes, you guys can have anything in this warehouse you want, basically. And he gave us all these shirts. He gave me like all these shirts and like grips and all this like small stuff that I could carry, like take home with me, because I'm like, I'm on an air, I'm gonna fly home. And he's like, hey, just do me a favor, just get all those bikes over there, those old, like at that point, those bikes were so obsolete, and just, you couldn't ride them, you couldn't freestyle on them, you couldn't race on them, you couldn't do anything with, all they were trash. And so I threw them all out.
Nobody wanted them. Nobody wanted them.
Right.
Yeah.
They just weren't something that you could do tricks on, basically. They're just too big, they're ridiculous. And they also had their CW van there, their tour van was there. And they had hit a deer, and Mike Miranda said, hey, they're getting rid of this van today, can you guys do me a favor and just get all the shit that's in there and throw it out into the dumpster with all these bikes? And I look at the bike and I'm like, all right, well, there's a bike in here and there's a gear bag and there's a bike box, and it was Diz Hicks, leather jacket, helmet, clothes, his bike, all his like spikes and all this stuff, his helmet, sunglasses, just like this big leather jacket that said like SOD on it or something. And I was like, why aren't you guys going to give this back to Diz? They're like, dude, Diz is back in Sacramento, we'll never see him again. I picked it up, walked it out to the dumpster and threw it out. And I'm like, man, that'd be pretty cool to keep, but there's no way I can get it home. And I just like threw it out. If I had the contents of that van that I threw out and these bikes, these, let's just say there were 500 frames or whatever, 70 frames, people would, in the BMX world today, would spend anything to get those.
Wow.
Like, I don't even know what these luggage frames are going for today. Like $1,000. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what somebody would pay for that.
Easily.
And we were just like, the noise it was making as we were throwing them in, everyone's like, yo, keep it down, man. We're just like throwing these bikes in this dumpster. So when we look at stuff like this, we just die at the stuff that we threw out that today would be, like back then you're thinking about it, you're like, no, like there'd be no reason to keep that bike. There'd be no reason to keep those boom boxes.
Right. Was that right when Mike Miranda got with them? Is that right at the beginning then? When were you in California?
It was 1980. It was 1980. Was it 7 or 8? It was either 1987 or 1988 Velodrome contest. Probably 87 it was, because
87 into 88.
87 because Gary was on CW by 88. He was on GT. So it was the summer, I guess. Summer.
No, it was the fall.
Winter of 87.
Fall of 87. Yeah. It was like it was November.
Diz and Seppi were gone. Yeah, Diz and Seppi were gone, and they were changing everything. Like they were making Gary put the RevCore stickers on his bike, and then he was like talking to Magoo. He's like, I got to get out of here. So and then RevCore picked up this other guy, full factory.
Yeah,
RevCore,
real hot up and comer.
A real hot up and comer. They promised him the world, and all they gave him was, they sent him a frame and a fork, and I think the forks were cracked. Do you know who that was, Mr. Eaton?
I have a very good idea who that dumbass was.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a yeah.
Let me paint that picture. All right. So at the end of 87 into 88, I wasn't sponsored by it. I didn't have an actual sponsor. Had a lot of magazine coverage, had a lot of stuff going on, doing pretty well in contests, all that. And, looking for a sponsor, and I had basically a buffet, looking at a buffet of choices.
I love buffets.
Now, it was Haro, GT, Dyno sitting in front of me. They were co-factory sponsorships, kind of like Joe had, where you got everything but a salary. You got bikes, you got contingencies if you got in the magazine, you got sent to the contest, all that kind of stuff paid for. You got everything but getting paid. Okay. And I was trying to leverage some kind of salary, whether it was like whatever, even if it was a couple hundred a month. I was just trying to leverage that because I was hoping to not work. I was hoping to quit my job at RPS, which was like a package, like a UPS. And I just wanted to ride. So Mike Miranda joins RevCore, and he hits me up and says, "Hey, Gary Pollock's leaving. We're looking to, we need to fill that spot because Gary left, and we have this new company called RevCore. CW is phasing out. Would you like to ride full factory?" Which meant full factory meant the whole deal. Like, you were sponsored, you got paid, you got, you know, the whole deal. And I'm like, okay. Like, I wasn't too keen on the I didn't even know what the RevCore looked like, but it was you know, it was just one of those things where I was like, yeah, I kind of took a gamble, but looking back, it was the dumbest decision I ever made. And you know, they sent me a frame and fork, like a package, meaning like frame, fork, seat post. That's all they made. They didn't have anything else to send.
Right.
And they sent it, and I had to so they sent it, and then I had to kind of like build the rest. So my bikes were always, my friends and our bikes were always just junk, and with just parts from everywhere. We could scrap them together. And so I had this bike that was pretty much like a heap of parts from different things, and this frame and fork and they sent me a uniform too, which was whack, but you know, whatever. That was just,
even today it would be bad. Yeah, it was a bad uniform.
It was a bad uniform, but that was just the standard thing back then. So yeah, they sent me this. I was all kind of excited. And I was like, okay, can I get a contract? Because, you know, we don't want to get this thing worked out. Contract. Yeah, we'll get on that. And it was just a constant, just, yeah, we'll get around. Yeah, we'll get you that. You know, it was just like the constant push down the road, you know, like whatever, just delay. And it wasn't necessarily, had nothing to do with me. It was just the company was just hanging on by a thread, basically just hanging on by a thread and operating like that. So, you know, they sent me to a contest in,
Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson, Arizona in March, or I think it was like March or April. It was March, late or early April of '88. I got to the contest. I pulled my bike out of the box, and the fork was broke.
Oh shit!
It broke on the flight. So
in the flight.
I had this,
wow.
It was broken, but it was not fully, like the dropout wasn't broken off. It was just cracked, and but it was bad, and I had to ride my bike with this cracked dropout. So on the internet, on YouTube, I think Kurt Schmidt has posted it, but there's my run from that contest is there, and it's so humiliating. Well, it just is compared to like what I could do.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was
like a Ray Schleckwig run.
I had to ride this bike with a broken fork, and the whole time I was like consciously worrying about that fork, like, is it going to break? And I think some part in the run, it kind of like gives and whatever. So I had to find a pair of forks from somebody later on, but this was after I'd already competed. So I don't even remember what place I got, but I basically competed. And then, so I told them the deal, and they were like, okay, yeah, we'll get you some forks out. Never did. And so I had these other beater forks. May comes along, and keep in mind, I'm trying to get this thing rolling with the sponsor, and it's not happening. So, you know, they just keep stringing me along, and we started filming for Dorkin. At the same time we were filming for Dorkin in York, the first video, and we'd already had a bunch of video from Ray, and we had a bunch of people from video from Jim Delaval and some other people. So like that was like the funny stuff, like Craig Grosso riding naked and all this just random footage. So then we just needed to film our own parts, like the plywood hoods parts. So we went to a Blockbuster and we rented a camera for 2 days, a VHS camera. For 2 days. It was like $35. We rented a VHS camera and we out of the 2 days it was rented, I bet, no lie, I bet 25 hours was filmed. It was rolling because number one, the batteries, we would plug it in and just roll, and then we just had it. We were like, okay, we got to film. We just filmed all day for 2 days and got almost the whole lot of the footage in like 2 days. And then, you know, put this video out. So May's coming up, this big Austin, Texas contest is coming up. And I'm like talking to RevCore. I'm like, hey, are we going to get, you know, I'm looking to enter. I got this video that we're going to premiere at the contest, like all this stuff. And like, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, we'll get you your ticket out, you know, the plane ticket. And it's like coming up and I'm busy, like working on the video and I'm not thinking much about it. And then next thing I know, I'm like, wait, the contest is this weekend. This is like, it's like Wednesday or like Tuesday or Wednesday. And basically I'd be flying Friday. So like, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't have a ticket. I don't have anything. Where's the deal? So I call up RevCore and they're like, yeah, we'll get you the tickets in the mail. Something literally, I literally think they said the ticket was in the mail. You'll have it tomorrow. Next day came, it was like maybe, I literally think it was Thursday, the day before Friday, the day before. Didn't show up, or maybe it might have been, you know, it was like a day away. And I was like, oh shit, it's not happening. So what I did was I had a shoebox full of all these orders for Dorkin in York that were just like, I don't know, a couple hundred orders with like with checks and cash for $7 or no, it was like $10 in it. Wow. It was like a whole stack of them. I literally went in and took out, I think it was like I think it was like $200, maybe $225. The plane ticket was like $160 back then, round trip to Austin, Texas.
Wow.
From Pennsylvania. It was $160, paid for that, and I paid for like, I basically took out like 200 and I don't know, just a little over $200 to like do that trip. And I went and stripped the stickers off my bike, RevCore stickers, and just made it all chrome. And I just went and I entered the contest. I paid for myself to go, and then I think I made like 10 copies of Dorkin in York. 10.
Oh, they went quick, I'm guaranteed.
And I sold them, and that was like that's what paid for like my and keep in mind I had to make those copies one VCR to another VCR.
Holy shit.
Like, you know, that's how we made those back in the day. I would queue it up, go out and ride for 45 minutes, come back and watch it, be like, okay, it's been 45 minutes, come back in, swap it back out and do it. Like, that's how we did it for the first couple videos. But yeah, so yeah, then we premiered it in a hotel room in Austin, Texas. And it was I didn't call back RevCore. They didn't call me back. And it was just like it was like a ghosting. It was a ghosting before ghosting, you know, there was no, it was so weird. It was like, neither of us said anything to each other, and then it just dissolved. And but I still rode that bike. I still rode that bike for another, probably like another 6 months. I rode that bike almost like a whole year. I rode that bike for about 8 months, and looking back, it was like one of the worst bikes I ever rode. So like, I actually subjected myself to a shitty bike and I basically hurt myself on so many levels from that decision.
Wow. Holy shit, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. When you look back on things like that, and yeah, I could have been riding, and it's all because of something stupid, because I would have, it would have been so much, because the difference in bikes, like the Haros and the GT and dynos were just on a higher level. They were just better bikes.
Yeah.
And had I not been so trying to get paid, and when I'm saying trying to get paid, I would have been happy to get $600 a month. Do you know what I mean? That was like, that was what I was looking for, you know? So
$600 a month? What are you, crazy?
Well, that's
dude,
what,
listen, I went to every contest making $3.10 an hour at Burger King. You were asking for too much. No wonder they didn't call you back, you nitwit.
I never asked for it. That's just, that was my figure. That's
more than what my dad made, dude. What are you talking about? Come on.
That's $150 a week.
But still.
Yeah, man. You know,
it was RevCore, dude.
$600 a month now is like $60. It's fucking nothing.
Yeah,
But back then, yeah, big deal.
It wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, it wasn't that expensive. It was still not much money. It's still, you know, it's not crazy difference in the money. We were making $3 something. I was working at Burger King right around that time too, but we were making
$3.10. I made $3.10 an hour, and minimum wage was $3.35. But somehow
you got jerked, because
I
think I was making almost $4 when I left there.
That was big money. $4 an hour.
And minimum wage now is like $15 here, at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how can you even? I mean, you know, in a way, like how could you live in New York City? How could you survive in New York with on minimum wage? I don't even know how you could. I don't even know how you could. Like, I often think of that when you're in the city and you see people like work at McDonald's or working at normal, just Foot Locker or whatever, like a retail store or something like that. Like, how, you know, it's like, how is that even happening? It's probably just because they're still living with, you know, living at home with parents or whatever. But
either that or they're working like 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're working like fucking 20 hours a day. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Ray,
yes.
Remind me not to give you anything of value ever.
Yeah, I know.
Like, fucking just call a dumpster company to bring you a dumpster.
Well, now I see stuff like, now my son has all this stuff, and I'm like, if we have room for it, I'm gonna keep it. Like, he has hundreds and hundreds of these Skylander things, these like little figures, and you put it on.
I have
like
a bunch
base.
of those, right?
Oh yeah, I know what those are.
Yeah, and he has a billion Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
and I'm like, we're saving all of it, because all his stuff from when he's a kid now, I'm gonna put it somewhere and save it. I'm not throwing anything out, because there's so much stuff we had when I was a kid that if we would have saved. I bought a Harry Leary Turbo off a guy, which today the bike would be probably $5,000. A guy, I bought it off him for $50. It was brand new. He never used it, and I took it to a racetrack and raced it, and like broke the cranks in half and did all kinds of bad stuff. But that was a bike, even back then, I thought of just putting in my attic, because I knew that the bike was a good bike and it would have been worth something, but I destroyed it.
Yeah.
So don't give me anything.
I save a lot of shit nowadays, but I did throw out some stuff back in the day, and not like $500,000 worth like you, but like, I threw out some stuff.
That's killing me now. I'm going to be thinking about that all night tonight.
I mean, between the fucking frames and the boom boxes.
The boom boxes. Those boom boxes, I remember.
In a year period, of time, you threw out over $1 million.
That is so
shit.
That is so messed up.
Yeah,
it really is.
And that's just that stuff. Like, think all, like, there's got to be other stuff that I threw out, like, where like places I worked. Like, I always had bad warehouse jobs, you know, and I was always throwing stuff out. Like, you know, oh man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, fuck it.
Yeah, man, fuck it.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Nothing you can do about it now.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna bring. This is a video that you sent me, Ray.
Oh wait, not that one.
Wait, what?
No.
The joke. I don't know if it was a video of me and a leopard Teddy and this one. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so
I know what this is.
I'm gonna play it. I don't think you're gonna be able to hear it, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing.
Yeah. Boy, but this burns me up, dude. This pisses me off.
All right, so here we go.
Yeah.
This is Mark. He's coming out of a cab and he's walking towards your car, I believe, right?
No, it was our friend's car that we were borrowing to get back home. Now that's the best part about that is he took a cab and the gas station was only a mile away. He could have walked to it, and we sat there. Oh my god. Okay, here's the story. Okay?
This is a really good story.
No, it's not. It's not a good story. This is a story to tell people, to help people. Okay.
This is a cautionary tale.
Here's what this is what this story's called. Don't ever travel with Mark Eaton. If you're like, don't travel anywhere more than like 4 miles from home. And like, he can be cargo all day. We drove with him as cargo to Florida and back, and we were fine. He did things that were messed up, like he lost his earbuds or whatever they're called.
Threw them away.
Yeah, he threw them out. But this thing, okay, here's what it comes down to. I drive for a living, okay? I drive 40,000 miles a year, okay? And I'm 51. I've been driving since I was 16. I might have had my gas light come on 7 times. I've never run out of gas. I've never even come close to running out of gas. Gary Pollock never ran out of gas, okay? Never ran out of gas. So I hang out with people that have never run out of gas. I also hang out with people that run out of gas, okay? So we're driving. There's me, Mark, and Warren are driving to Greenville, North Carolina. No, hold on. Don't interrupt me, dude. We're driving to Greenville, North Carolina. And I'm an old man and I always got to pee, okay? So we're driving, we're flying down the highway, and I'm like, dude, we got to get off soon because I got to pee. Hey, man, we just stopped like an hour and a half ago. I'm like, dude, I got to pee. So I'm like, there's a place right there. So we pull in, and I'm like, oh, this is a gas station. Why don't we get gas? And we pull in, and Eaton starts laughing, and he's like, oh my God, the gas gauge is buried at E. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, well, we're out of gas, but luckily we're here at the thing, right? So I go in and pee. They fill it up with gas. We go about our business. and we were in Greenville for Dave Mira's funeral. It was our second trip that week for the second funeral. And so we go there, we drive back, and the car we were in was our friend Warren. It was Warren's car, and we dropped him off in Richmond, Virginia, at his in-laws' house, and his wife was there with the kids. And so we just dropped him off, and we're going to take his car home. Warren and I live right down the street from each other. So Mark and I were making good time. It's Valentine's Day. We're on the phone with our wives going like, hey, we'll be home in 3 hours. We're in DC. We're almost there. So we're in Warren's little Kia, otherwise known as Sweet Pea, the car. It's green. So we're in Sweet Pea. Mark is in the left lane going 80 miles an hour.
We're flying at 95, Wilmington, Delaware.
Now, this is the part that kills me. He's driving the car in the left lane, cruising, we'll say 70 miles an hour. And we're just talking, having a good old time. We're like, we're almost home. And all of a sudden, the car shuts off. And it shuts off. And I look over and he's in panic mode. I'm like, what's wrong? And he goes, I think we're out of gas. Now, who runs out of gas while you're flying down the highway? Like, when you run out of gas, now I've never run out of gas, but I would picture if I was going to run out of gas, I would know about 15 miles down the road and a half hour before I ran out of gas. He didn't realize he ran out of gas until it punched him in the face. Right. And that is unacceptable.
I can also say I have a reason why that happened on both occasions.
Wait, I want to hear.
Let me tell you. No, here's the thing is, no, there are no reasons. There are no reasons. There is no reason why that should ever happen. Don't even let him talk. He ran out of gas because here's the reason. I'll tell you the reason. It's because you're stupid. You're dumb. You don't pay attention. No. I told you.
No, I'll tell you exactly what it is. Both
you
times, the reason why in Warren's car, where the steering wheel blocked my sight
Sure.
to the
Right.
both
That
times
doesn't mean
did
that
never
doesn't
saw
mean
the
anything.
gauge.
Doesn't mean
Never
nothing.
even saw the gauge.
Where
Didn't
I
even see
work,
it.
let me tell you something. Where I work, there's certain times where there's 7 different vehicles I might drive at any given day. Okay. And every time I get in that car, any car, I look to see what the gas is. I look to see how much gas there
Yeah,
is.
I didn't
And then I
about
figure out where I'm going, and I have to make sure I have a gas card with me. And you do that every time. But Mark has what we call a chicken brain. He only focuses on all he was focused on was getting to where he's like, okay, we just dropped Warren off. Our next thing is we're gonna go to Ray's house and drop him off.
Yeah.
He doesn't think like, do we got to stop to go to the bathroom? Do we need to get anything to drink? Do I need to call anybody? No, he's just driving along.
There was no sign. There was no
you're
sign. I never saw one sign of gas light on, no gauge. So picture
But
just
see, that's
getting
what I'm getting at. But that's what I'm getting at. That's where he's a nitwit, because you don't need someone to poke you in the side to say, hey, look at the gas gauge. You should know when you're piloting a vehicle, you should know how much gas is in it.
Well, we were in
I'm saying.
intense conversation on the way back.
Who cares? I don't remember what it couldn't have been. It wasn't as intense as us sitting there for like hours trying to get gas. But then the funny part is, so I'm all pissed off. So I start posting shit on Facebook. Like, look, Eaton ran out of gas. What a nitwit. And like I put that video on what you just watched, and it shows, you see the signs. It says Wilmington, whatever. And this dude that we know, he goes, hey, you're right down the street from my house, right? So this is like comments we're getting. He's like, hey, I'm right down the street from your house. And so I look up his profile. It's this guy. Who it's Chris, right?
Yeah.
Is that his name, Mark?
Yeah.
Chris. This dude, Chris, we know from Delaware. Yeah. So Chris mentions, he posts or whatever, he comments, hey, you're right down the street from my house. So I'm like, oh, I know Chris. And I'm like, that's funny. And I'm like, we're right down the street from his house. And I hit his profile. It's got a tow truck in the background. And I'm like, and I message him and I'm like, yo, do you got a tow truck, dude? We just ran out of gas. So here's the thing is, so Eaton, this adds to him being a nitwit. He goes and gets a thimble full of gas. He pours it in the car, and it does not even enough to start. Shut up.
Yeah, it's not even
enough. Let me
go back.
No, you didn't buy enough gas.
You don't know what I had to do.
You bought a half gallon of gas. It wasn't even enough to get through the system.
Not by choice. I didn't go, oh, you know what? There's a 5 gallon and there's a quart. I'll take a quart.
Gary Pollock and I would have bought the 5 gallon. I'm just letting you know. Gary Pollock and I would have bought the 5 gallon.
There wasn't the option. They had the place that the
buy
gas.
2 of them. Buy 2 of them. Buy a gallon of water and pour it in the ground and then fill that.
Oh, that's what I did. That's what I did.
No, Joe, you had a gas can. Who cares? What it comes down? What it comes down to is, listen, you went to get gas and it wasn't enough.
Anyway,
so then the dude came with the tow truck.
We were so low that I got whatever that small can wasn't enough to even get to start the car,
to get to the motor of the car. So Chris came, put it on the flatbed. And then we were driving it because we thought like something broke in the car. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, well, try filling it up. So we filled it up, started it right up. And then, I didn't get home for Valentine's Day. Eaton didn't get home for Valentine's Day. And Chris, our buddy from Delaware, had to interrupt his Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. Girls love Valentine's Day. Remember that. Remember the advice I give? That's part of my advice. Girls love Valentine's Day. Don't ruin it, okay? Participate in Valentine's Day if you love the girl you're with, okay? Remember that.
Yes, very good advice.
Write it down. So anyway, so Eaton's not allowed. I'm not. Eaton is only cargo in any vehicle I'm in now. He is never allowed to drive for the rest of his life. If I chop my hand off and I have to go to the hospital, he's riding shotgun and I'm driving with my stub because he sucks.
So, Mark, have you run out of gas since then?
Yes. He'll say no.
You know what?
He's run out of gas plenty of times.
Have I ran out of gas? I don't think so, but I've definitely been close.
Okay.
20 times since then. 20 times.
Okay. Right. Okay. Hey, Mike, watch this one. Hey, Ray, how many times have you been late for a flight? None. Hey, Mark, how many times have you been late or missed your airplane? Thousands. Thousands. Okay? He has a chicken brain, dude.
But
His
not
brain
as
his brain doesn't
not
focus
as
on
many
stuff
as
that you
many
and I
people
do.
I know. No, I just have a thing where I have a gauge of what's important to me, and certain things don't fall high on that
DJing's on there though, but DJing at 10 o'clock at night for 9 people throughout the world is
That's right.
is very important to him. You know, if I can get 9 people tonight, you know, we're gonna mash up some stuff here. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna mash it up.
Mash it up.
That's insane. Oh man. All right. Listen, I'm gonna come back to the regular. Oh wait, before we go. Well, we're not going yet, but
we ain't going nowhere, dude.
Before I come back to the regular screen, I got to do my shameless plug.
Okay. Do it. Sweet shirt. You know what? My wife has one of their shirts. Believe it or not.
What shirt?
Wow.
That shirt.
Oh, she's wearing it?
Not right now, but she has one. Awesome. I got her one.
That's awesome, man. So yeah, this was from the first episode, but this is where, you know, you and Spike Jones Adam Spiegel ring the Liberty Bell. So I made this silly little shirt and people bought it. And the ones that everyone has right now has the logo on the other side.
That's a collector's item. Don't throw them out if you've learned anything from
this. Don't give him the Ray. He'll fucking throw him in the dumpster.
Yeah. Well, I'll clean my car with it.
But yeah, so that's a collector's item right there. And I think
your next shirt should be the Mark Eaton gas can shirt.
I think so.
We do a lot of group texting, and like when there's for about a month after that, every group text we had, it'd be like we'd have a picture of Eaton DJing with a gas can in the back. There was gas can jokes for like 6 months after that.
Yeah.
Oh man, you just gave me such a good idea. I will, and you know I'm gonna do it too. So it'll be done by the end of the week.
Yeah.
So yeah, get your official Large Ray Liberty T-shirt at hellfandyeah.com.
Yeah, it's a great Christmas gift, man.
Great Christmas gift.
And patriotic. The Liberty Bell.
That's right. All right, so I'm going to come back to the regular screen here.
God, I look good.
You do look good, Ray.
I feel good.
You look great. You need a haircut though. You look better. Your hair was nicer last time.
Well, I can, because the last time I just got a haircut.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not here by myself. If you look.
Yeah, I saw the dog before, right? Wait, what happened?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on. Hold on. How do I get you back?
There.
Hold on. There you go.
Your Wi-Fi is all over the place right now. You're breaking up.
Oh, well.
What?
All right, continue. Don't worry about me. Go ahead.
Continue. What the fuck was all that?
I wanted Sugar Bear to be on the
show. The dog, right? I saw him before.
Yeah. Shuggy, yeah.
That was nuts, dude.
Sugar dog.
And when Mark was talking before, the fucking phone was going off the hook over there. You sound like you're at a call center.
It happens. Look, man.
Somebody's
got to work around here. My wife. Luckily, my wife works.
She was not taking calls.
And she provides me with this wonderful lifestyle because she can work all day.
Yeah.
And I just hang out and smoke cigars. All right. What's next? Let's talk about something else. Give me a subject. Come on. Let's go, Mike.
That's all I had as far as things I wrote down, but we can go off the cuff here if you want.
My whole life is off the cuff. Bring it on.
What do you got? You tell me. You got any good stories with you and Mark?
Mark, what's
you got?
Mark?
Or Mark, do you have a good story with Ray?
Yeah.
For Ray.
Oh man. Let's just say Ray used to Ray's had quite a collection of things between bikes and cars and he's, as much as he throws away, he's collected a lot of
yeah, but actually, and still I had all those bikes and I got rid of all of them. I have one BMX bike left. It's the one that Alan Cook gave me. That was
yeah.
that he did
On the
the
ramp
world
up the
record
JAWN
backflip.
video, on the ramp up the JAWN video, we were all riding these like throwback bikes. And basically, I'd say, how many of them were yours, Ray? Like almost all of them.
All of them. I think all of them, except for like one dude had like an actual Stingray. That girl Aaron, her brother, I forget his name, Brian. He had a Stingray that was his father's. But all the other bikes, like is that video available like on the JAWN site? Because I think Mike would love it.
You know what, Mike? YouTube ramp up the JAWN video, and it's probably there. It's probably out there somewhere.
Could he play it while we're talking right now? He could probably do that.
Maybe, yeah, we could walk through it if you can. You want to try to do that?
Hold on.
I haven't commented on your haircut yet, and I haven't called you Dave yet, which I just,
You haven't called me Dave. He actually called me
Who's
David.
David,
Okay.
yeah. Twice. He called you David twice.
He did.
That's what I want to really talk about. I want to talk about him being
You know what? Yeah, hold on. Before we get into that video, I totally forgot about that. Okay.
Dude, I was laughing. I live for that. For him calling you David, I live for that kind of shit. That is why that gives me the most pleasure in the world. Like when that
the giggle.
Like
you have to get the giggles.
Yeah, and then I think underneath it while you're playing it, you flash the word David, right? Didn't you do that?
Yes.
Like, yeah, that adds tons to it when you add that to it.
Right, and I didn't correct him.
No, that's even better. Not correcting them is what made it so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was the key.
Let me fill this in to Mark because he has no idea, I don't think.
I don't.
I got in touch with, Ray got me in touch with Bill Allen from Rad.
Tony Donaldson, our boy
Tony Donaldson. And Rad is one of like my favorite movies when, childhood movies, like just, my brother was at Woodward and it was my life at that time. So I love that fucking movie. And to this day, it's just nostalgic. I know it's a kind of a cheesy movie, but I just love the movie. So I was pretty psyched to have Bill Allen. Now, I love all my guests. I'll never talk anything bad about any of my guests, okay? But I'm not necessarily a Bill Allen fan. I'm a Rad fan. But who's the best person to talk to than the lead role in the movie,
Yeah.
So,
it was awesome to get him.
It was awesome. It really was. And he was a really nice guy. He was really cool. But at the end of the interview, he started calling me David out of nowhere. And I don't know if it necessarily registered to me at the time. Like I was just going along with the interview and I was like, did he say David? I'm not sure if he said it or not. And I was like, I'm not going to correct him. I'm not even going to ask him. And then he just kept saying it. He said he said it like 2 or 3 times at the end. I think I might've cut one out because it was, the video broke up. But so I put text under the video, like, David, who the fuck is David? And then everyone started listening to the episode and people were like, what's up, David? And like all this shit. Fucking Ray's been calling me David since. My wife's been calling me David. It just turned into this whole fucking thing. And she's like, why don't you correct anybody? Because dude, I've lived in this house for 4 years now. My neighbor across the street calls me Eric.
I love that. Yeah. That is incredible.
I come home from the store. He's like, what's up, Eric? I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Like, don't correct them.
She's like, who the fuck is Eric? I'm like, I'm Eric. I don't know. He calls me Eric. I have no fucking idea why. I have the most common name ever, Mike. How do you fucking forget that, right? So Eric. And he still calls me that. I'm like, you know what? I just don't even want to. The guy talks a lot. I don't want to start a conversation with him. Be like, listen, my name's Mike. I don't give a fuck.
You can never tell him. No, never tell him.
It's going to backfire one day, though.
Yeah, because they're going to be like, yeah, you know that guy Eric. And they're like, who? It's Eric. His name's not Eric.
All right, let me get back to that video.
We can do a commentary on it.
Definitely, that'd be really cool. My fucking Safari should come up now. Hopefully I cleared my history.
Yeah.
So, hey, Mark, when you shot that video, did we do it because the X Games were coming to Philly? Was that our whole reason behind it? We did it because we started a clothing brand. Basically, we started a clothing brand. It was Ramp Up the JAWN. Yeah. That brand was that that brand ran out of gas faster than Mark Eaton on a trip.
Yeah, not really. It didn't really run out. The other sad reality is that brand could be huge right now had we like really stuck with it. But we had too many people that needed, like, it was too needy of a company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one person could have crushed it with that. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
Especially today with the means, with everything, like the way things are.
Well, and then right after, like a year or two later, we did the Made show, and that was basically a Ramp Up the JAWN commercial. You know, there it is.
This is it?
Top one. Yeah. That's it. Oh, you're gonna
up.
love this, dude. If this is playing right now, you're gonna love it.
Now, once again, I'll hear it, but you won't. So I'm gonna have to drop the volume on this though, because then I won't be able to hear you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's bring it up full screen. There we go.
Yeah. There you go. So this is underneath the bridge on 95 in Philadelphia, and that's us. I'm in the lead there with my jacket, and we're cruising.
With my jacket.
Yeah.
He had this jacket that was basically, okay, he had a jacket so large, I don't know what size it was, but made Ray swam in it. It was like a
10x.
10x.
It was like a 10x. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
why did you have a jacket that big?
Somebody found
Where
it.
did you
Somebody
get it?
found it. Somebody, I think Truck Stop, a guy, one of our friends, Truck Stop, had it, and then Brett Downs was like, "Yo, you gotta give this to Ray." Here's me skidding at the end. Now, here's the thing where, okay, so someone broke their chain, and everybody in Philly when we were kids, they had vice grips on the back of their bike as a tool. So here we are, everyone's giving the vice grips to fit Mike to fix his bike. So there's all the vice grips. In Philly, that's our tools. So then we had a little jump here.
Yeah, it was just like, you know, it was basically a throwback video of bikes and of vibes. So that's pretty much it. And then we had a whole bunch of people.
There's a jacket. It's a ski vest.
It's fucking humongous.
Yeah, it's dope.
You still have it?
Well, I washed it and it fell apart. But when we did the Made show, and they were looking for a coach, they said, like, I think Kevin Robinson goes, well, there's these guys in Philly called Ramp Up the JAWN, and they watched this video, and when they called me, they said, we're looking for the guy in that video that's wearing the coat. And I go, that's me. She's like, awesome. That's who we're looking for. And I'm like, and I was like, what do you want? And they're like, well, we have this girl. We're going to teach her how to ride BMX. And I'm like, that's never going to, the more I told them you couldn't do it, it wouldn't happen. They were just like, yeah, that's awesome. So, but they watched this video, and that's where they picked us to do that. There's Malville.
Wow.
Brett and Derek doing the little.
So yeah, these were just little segments of little like snippets of different things, like different and like, so when you joined Ramp Up the JAWN, it was a membership. So you paid like $20, and I think you got like
video.
$20. You got a video, you got a VHS tape, you got stickers, and you got a T-shirt and a member number. And a member number. You were like a JAWN member. And that was the thing. That was they're totally getting sketched.
So that bike right there, I bought that bike at an auction for $20. It was somebody back like in the 60s got two bikes and welded them together and made a tandem.
Wow.
And it was like a BMX bike. And so our goal was to try and get these guys to just go up this ghetto ramp. And finally at the end, these two here got air and made it up. Boom. It took like 20 takes. It took forever.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But that's a bike right there that I got out of the trash for like just sitting around somewhere. I got to put a tough wheel on, or a Moto Mag on the front.
Yeah.
But
we filmed this in 2002. This is in like prior to, you know, this would have been like spring of 2002.
Yeah.
Right.
This is right off of South Street in Philly.
Yeah.
So we went from like where the stadiums are in Philly, like all the sports stadiums, to then to South Street. There's Warren wheeling out. And then the next did we do it? Oh, I forgot. The best part of this is, well, that's
DJ Chicken Scratch,
and that's in my old backyard. So this is my favorite part here. This part is filmed in my old neighborhood, and we were trying to make it look like it was like the 70s, and these houses were built in like the 50s. And at the time, I had a '77 Corvette, and it fit perfect in this part of the.
We're just cruising through the hood.
Mark, did you film this with the Blockbuster camera by any chance?
No. This was. But I was way long. I should have for vintage purposes, but.
And that's Mark right there.
I actually would have. We didn't have the budget to make. I would have shot it on like Super 8 if I could have, but it cost too much. But yeah. That's me actually in the red shirt doing the wheelies. I'm actually in this one. So,
and I love where Al just does this full-on stand-up catwalk wheelie right here the whole way, coming up right about now. Right here, he does the wheelie across the whole thing, just wheelies it.
Oh, and then Ray pulls up like, "Yo, what's up?" You know, "Yo."
That was my vet with New York plates on the front. Figure that one out. But that car was pretty awesome. That car was like having a go-kart. And
of course,
here's Brett. This is the best dude. Boom! He crashed. But and then this is the part that everybody liked right here. This was a good one. This is where Mark's directing came in good here. So here I am. Hey guys, jump the car, and everyone bunny hops over it, which is pretty fun. And yeah. And there's DJ Chicken Scratch.
Who's underneath the mask?
Mark Eaton.
Chicken Scratch.
That's you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That was my that was like a
we call it an alter ego, I think they say.
Yes.
DJ Chicken Scratch.
But this was technically before I was quote unquote back DJing, but
so
anyway, here's a call out.
You gotta bring that back. You gotta bring that back. Do you still have the mask?
Yeah, but it was too gimmicky.
Okay,
Listen,
Marshmallow. Say that to Marshmallow.
Listen, those are some of the biggest. Those are some of the biggest DJs. Dead Mouse
with Dead Mouse.
Daft Punk. I mean, I know Daft Punk's really aren't DJs, but they got the mask.
So this part here is at Reading Skate Park, or they call it Spinning Wheels or Magic Skate Park. I don't know what the actual name of it was, but so this was us at Reading Skate Park, Magic Skate Park. This place got bulldozed. But so, and the one thing with this video that's really good is it's the music too. The music, you know, we could put whatever we want. So it had
a whole bunch of 70s.
That group War, and it had what's that? Barracuda, whoever this.
Yeah.
Here we got some chicks. We got some chicks involved, some underage girls.
The ditch segment.
The ditchy chicks.
Yeah, the ditch.
So then here we are in a ditch by my house off of 422. So we're just keeping it real, doing some wheelies, bouncing the basketball.
Real quick, that was another thing. That was another thing about the Dorkin videos, man. They always had the best music.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that clearly.
Well,
yeah, and he paid for all that music.
Fucking hotties, man. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And those girls are still really hot because they were like 15 at that time. So now they're like 30. So
wow.
There's Truck Stop. That's our boy Truck Stop right there. Believe it or not, we gave him a nickname, Truck Stop, and that's
they got here's the ball and the
the ball and the bars, and Gary bunny hopping everybody. The girls can't believe it. Then we get the girls to lay down.
What's Ray working? He's trying to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was always to get girls to lay on their back. That was a good part right there to the music, but we can't hear it.
Yeah.
And is that the end, or is there?
That's it.
That's it. That's the end.
That's it.
Yeah, ramp up the JAWN.
Well, there's still
And
a
then
minute.
About 10
Well,
minutes, yeah,
because
10
in the credits we got to thank everybody, and it goes to Leroy Brown is the song. Down on the south side of Chicago. See, we talk all about ramp up the JAWN here.
Yeah.
Everything has its roots and its origins. Ramp up the JAWN is about blah blah blah. So
have fun with your friends and ramp up the JAWN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what the people at MTV saw and said, we need these guys to coach a girl.
Well, listen, guys, this was awesome, man. I can't wait to I can't wait to put this together, and obviously I have to edit some stuff out and make it tighter and
clean it up, tighten it.
Yep. And I'll have it out tomorrow.
Sweet.
Wow.
And it's gonna
You work way
explode.
faster than Mark Eaton. Mark Eaton be like, look, I'll get this out to you sometime, and then it'd be like, your kids would be, graduating high school and be like, oh, that video's
cool.
Guys, it was a pleasure.
All right.
Yeah, it was fun.
Storytelling with Audrey, Volume 3, in the books.
Special guest Mark Eaton.
Special guest Mark Eaton.
He enhanced this episode immensely.
He did. It was awesome, man. I really appreciate it. And Mark, I'll shoot you over that address for.
Okay, cool. No problem.
And if you can, if it's not a lot of work, Mike, it's the first second you see Eaton, just underneath it, just write powder if you can, and then see.
I'll do it, and I'm gonna work on that T-shirt.
Right, cool. The Mark Eaton gas.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't know how mad that story gets me so mad. Like, I'm mad right now.
What story?
The running out of gas. I hate it. There's no reason. There's no reason for that. It's unbelievable. Like that running out of gas doesn't exist in my world. It doesn't.
Yeah, I never ran out of gas.
There you go. See?
Never.
Yep.
Never even come close.
Yep.
I think I learned it. Yeah.
Go somewhere with Mark once, and I guarantee you'll run out of gas or come close to it.
Hey, or no, you'll get down to the edge. We take it to the edge over here. We take it to the edge.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Ramp up the
Peace
JAWN.
out.
Yep.
Peace out.
All right. Thanks. I'll see you.
See ya.
Talk to you later.
Yep.
Peace.